Alright, I've been called to duty. My son keeps demanding, my 6-year-old son keeps demanding that I repair his shortcomings. His inability to take care of his stuff. These are little First Act guitars right there. Pretty nice guitars. I mean, you know, I wouldn't qualify them as student guitars by any means. I mean, they're toys. But they're pretty cool looking and fun to knock around with. Let's see here. On this one, this little guy, this Flying V there, again, the quality is pretty good in the finish, I have to say. I mean, it looks good. I mean, I know looks can be deceiving. I don't know what they did to get it to look like this. But the actual body, the finish on it is pretty decent on these guitars. Maple neck. Looks like a rosewood fingerboard. So anyway, on this guitar right here, I think there's something going on with the nut. We'll play around with that. I'm not going to bother replacing it if I can't fix it, but we'll take a look at it. We'll take the covers off, see if there's a truss rod in there, and maybe we can tweak it to take care of that annoying tuning issue. In this, there's an intermittent issue with the electronics. Something keeps cutting out, probably a loose connection somewhere in there. We'll take a look at that and get it up and running. This guy right here, which is a pretty cool body style, that looks familiar. And First Act. And this guy right here, there's the nut is split right down the middle. I asked him how he did that, and of course he doesn't know. We'll take care of that. Again, I'm not going to bother replacing it. I'm just going to take it off and maybe super glue it back together and slap it back on there. There's an obvious issue right there. Don't ask me what happened there. Obviously it came apart and fell inside. And of course he doesn't know what happened. We'll take a look at that, take it apart, reassemble it. I don't know where the nut is. I'll have to replace the nut. Pickups. Look at the dirt. There was 6-year-old grimy little fingers all over the place. Again, maple neck. Little scoff joint right at the headstock. We'll get it working again. On this one, I'll take apart the cover plate again to see if there's a truss rod and maybe tweak it. But yeah, this ought to be a little fun little project and get my 6-year-old off my back. Dad, when are you going to fix my guitars? When you stop breaking them. Yeah, so I'm going to loosen up the strings. Get right into the nut action. See what's going on with it. As you can see, it's nicely in tune. Alright, well, yeah, look at that. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. How did that happen? I don't know, Dad. I don't know how that happened. It just happened. The boogeyman. Let's take that off, yep. There you go, it's one part of the nut. Of course, they glued it in, so I'm going to have to manhandle it and get it out of there without damaging it, because again, I don't feel like replacing a nut on the $25 guitar. Alright, let's try to manhandle it. Being very gentle with it. Get that out of there. Okay. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. There is a truss rod in there. Cool. Yeah, that's beat up, but we'll get it to work again. I'm just going to glue it right back together. I'm not going to, let's face it, it's a toy. No matter what I do to it or put a new nut on there, it's still going to be a little toy, so I'm not going to put much time into putting a new nut in. I'm just going to glue it, get it where it's going to work for my 6-year-old. There you go. But that's pretty neat. There is a truss rod in there. Let's take this off. I want to check that out. See what's doing. Yep. If you can see it. There is a little rod in there. Pretty neat. Taking the screws out. And let's see what's going on here. Okay. We got some missing wires. Where are you? You're in here somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna have to take this off. Geez, this might be a two-parter. I may have to do this in 2 episodes. I should charge him. I should charge my little 6-year-old. I'll fix your guitars if you clean your room. If you pick up after yourself. Here's an idea. Maybe clean under your bed. I think that's worth it for guitar repair in exchange for a clean bedroom. Alright, let's see. There's that guy. Let's see. Come on out here, buddy. Get out here. There you are. I knew you were hiding in there somewhere. Look at that. Came right off. Okay. We'll get that stripped. I'll resolder that guy back on there. Replace the nut that belongs on here so it doesn't fall off anymore. And I will fix this nut right there. Again, just gluing it. It should be good as new. Good. That's perfect. Alright, got the nut all glued up. Strong as nails. I used Super T, hot stuff, instant glue. Strong stuff. But this should be good enough for a toy. It should be good enough. If I were working on a real guitar, I would replace the nut, obviously. Just a little sanding to get the glue residue off, and we'll put it back on and stop packing it up and get it running again. I have the nut in place, and I repaired the jack, rewired it, and found a screw and bolt and bolted it on, and I got sound coming out of it. That's good. The nut, I put a little dab of glue in the center there. Never glue your nut in place all the way, because if you ever at some point in the future want to remove it, you're not taking chunks of wood with it. Just some advice there. But yeah, she's good to go. She won't stay in tune. I got the sneaking suspicion that the scale is off. The distance between the bridge and the nut is probably not right, and it won't stay in tune. It doesn't sound, even when you get it up to pitch, it doesn't sound right. You know, obviously there's a lot of play in the tuners, but again, you know, it's not. I wouldn't even consider this a beginner's guitar. It's a toy, so take it for what it is. Let's see if it stayed in tune. Yeah, flat. Yeah, so she's done. So I'm gonna have my son, I'm gonna hold the other guitar as ransom. I'm gonna tell him that he needs to clean his room to have this one, and then next week he needs to do something else for me to work on the other guitar. I think that's fair. What do you think? But yeah.